Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever for another 2v2 cast on the map, Adaptive Hrungdaks Canyon. That is a weird word, and I hope you all are ready, because before we get into introducing our players with Team 1 at the top and Team 2 at the bottom, I need to tell you to look down at that time code, because this is a long one, and we're going to be having a grand time. So we have all the time in the world before we get into these introductions to tell you to go down below, hit the subscribe button, maybe hit that bell if you're feeling spicy, like the video, and maybe consider joining the Patreon or channel membership. Starting with player introductions, we have the blue UEF going first land. His name is Madman1, and he is rocking this western position on this map. Over to his east, we have a blue Cybran, so Team Blue up here. This is a 2v2 TMM. His name is Tiffy, and he has gone first land. Next up on the chopping block, we have ourselves a Maroon Aeon going first land. His name is Bad D, and he's our first representative for Team 2. And last but certainly not least for the entire game, we have ourselves another Red Aeon going first land. And his name is Demon Streamer 666, and we already know that Team 2 is making better decisions this game as they have both gone Aeon. Luckily, no Seraphim in this match, so we have a wonderful match on the cards for you all today. And, of course, the map. What is there to talk about? Well, first and foremost, we have the reclaim numbers, 40,000. Very, very healthy amount of reclaim on this map. We have a lot of it spread out around the bases, but the vast majority in this kind of cliff complex here in the middle. There's all of these choke points, but it kind of plays like a MOBA in the fact that you have 3 main lanes of attack and defense. So these players are going to be really having struggles with getting large armies through this map, and air is going to be very important. Probably going to see some pretty beefy fire bases, and everything is going to be absolutely grand and big in this cast. So, how's your day going? Are you all having yourself a good time? Have you gotten yourself a drink, maybe a snack? Because we're gonna be here for a little while and wouldn't want you to go without, as we have ourselves over here to the east. Our first sign of aggression, we have some T1 light assault bots, the Hunter for the Cybran, out from Tiffy. He's going to be trying to, or she, I guess. Tiffy is kind of sounds like Tiffany, is a relatively decent little strategy here. An engineer generally going to want to come over here, expand, get that extra hydro, get these 2 mass extractors, but it takes some time to get around there, and if you can hold on to this choke point as the north side player, as Tiffy here, you're going to be feeling real good about yourself, especially since you can set up some artillery or even just a T1 PD on this cliff to stop this mechs from going over to your opposition. Same, of course, for the other side. Here in the middle, there is a ton of mass extractors, 6 to be precise in the center, and then there's 2 more on either side of the map, and it can be really, really brutal to try and hold on to this point, but you really want to. It's going to be a part of the map that has huge amounts of contention, and we now have cliff building coming out from both players on Team 2. Team 2 going for the strategy of just setting yourself up. Maybe I should start calling them Team Red and Team Blue whenever we're playing or we're watching some not map gen, some TMM. I cannot speak today, but I'm sure it'll get better. I have an entire long period of time to get that in, and I don't know why I'm trying to stress how long this game is, but I don't think you all understand. So, yet again, it's gonna be epic, and I really hope you all are ready to enjoy it, as we are looking at a T1 factory about to be finished up for Madman. Down here to the southeast, those hunters did manage to get into the back line. I think maybe even picked up an engineer kill or 2. There was an engineer heading out this way, so it's definitely dead wherever it may have gone. And it does seem as though Demon Streamer going to show up. He has a bunch of flares now showing up to the party, going to be trying to hold on to this eastern side the best of his capabilities, as he is going to very much so want to hold on to this. Another big thing we could see is people building walls. You can easily wall off this section of the map, this section, and this section, and if you do so, it can get very difficult for somebody to push, especially if you just station some units near the wall to kill any engineers that may walk up to try and destroy them. Over here in the center, Madman 1 still has the largest presence here. We have some presence, though, out from Bad D and Demon Streamer. But Madman, the only person who's really committed his comm all the way up onto this central area, and he's going to start taking mass extractors and having a good time. As over here, we have some flares out that are just trying to stop any form of expansion and maybe get some cheeky kills on things on the periphery of these bases. Of course, T1 artillery can even hit the main base of one of the players on this map, so the early game, very important. A couple of mech marines came down here, but they're going to be shut down by Aurora, and that is going to be the end of that form of harassment for now. And we already have some scouting coming out from the second team. We have a full scout over the base of Madman and a partial scout of Tiffy. Let's see what the other team has done. Not quite as much scouting going on just so far. As far as economies go, though, Madman running away with it at 40 mass a second nearly, 27 for Tiffy, and then Bad D and Demon Streamer both at 23. So it's going to be relatively advantage at the moment for Tiffy and Madman. Of course, there is plenty of mass to go around at the moment with all of the reclaim on the map. Like, just look over here in this corner, 7,000 mass. You can very easily catch up. Just seems as though Madman opting for a more eco-heavy style, whereas the players of Team 2 focusing more on getting out a lot of factories and being able to lay in some aggression early. Down here to the southeast, Tiffy showing up with the comm and a lot of units. He's going to be building a forward radar and trying to just put some pressure onto Demon Streamer, who is coming out with a ghetto gunship. This could be deadly, as Tiffy's going to start taking a lot of damage from these flares. There are some interceptors in the area. Is there any anti-air? There is a couple of Sky Slammers in the area. If they can get targeted onto that gunship, they can maybe either kill the flares or the gunship itself before Tiffy takes too much damage, and that's going to be unfortunate. The gunship there for Demon Streamer going down did maybe buy him a little bit of time. He has a lot of air production, but he's very light on the ground. Gonna have to see if that's going to lead to anything larger in the short term. As far as upgrades go, I don't think anybody has started an upgrade just yet. So we're still sitting on just base comms, and we have a lot of units now pouring into this eastern side here for Tiffy. And Demon Streamer just doesn't seem to have a great solution to this. Speed and range now on the way for Tiffy. Demon Streamer gonna have to pull that comm back and try and help defend with it. Lots of units now conglomerating in the middle for both Madman and Bad D. Bad D also sending his comm up to this northern side. There's a bit more resistance on this side, but he does seemingly have an advantage. I mean, with the comm, you can deal with this army, especially if you use your Aurora's range to their full advantage. And currently that speed and range upgrade at 30% and raising, that could be very dangerous, as Demon Streamer here in the middle, he's going to be having a lot of trouble with this. He's kind of cut off from his main base, and now his main base is about to start getting raided, and maybe there's some kind of solution to this. There's another ghetto gunship here. You could try and use that. A couple of them, in fact, try and use those to just start dealing with this as you're working on getting maybe T2 somewhere. I don't know if he is, but gunships of the normal variety would be a lot more useful here. The anti-air slowly shooting down all of the ghetto gunships, the flares coming out, but this is just going horribly wrong for Demon Streamer. He has all this Air Force produced, but he's just not able to get anything happening. He's going to build some T1 PD. A couple of them are going to finish in time. Is this going to be enough to hold off this attack? Is it going to be enough to kill off all these Mantis? The Mantis are going to be in here firing. There is critically no Medusa in this force, and not really all that much infrastructural damage done other than killing off engineers, but he has a lot of air factories that can just pump out engineers very easily in the middle. Speed now on the way for Demon Streamer. That upgrade for Tiffy has finished. He has range and speed on the comm. Up here to the far north, Bad D starting to push. He's taking a lot of damage to these units. I don't think he's paying attention to his comm. Needs to get these Auroras in range and have them stop shooting at engineers. But he is going to be able to kill off quite a few units with the comm, maybe in a little bit of danger of dying here. These Auroras really stuck on shooting that cliff, and it's really hurting him right now. Needs to get them targeted onto some tanks, and it does seem as though he's done that just now. Needs maybe an overcharge right here would be huge for him, but he's taking a lot of damage. It's getting very close to being deadly amounts of damage. If there was some artillery here, this would have already been a kill. And he does manage to push it back. He's nearly at 1 rank of veterancy. And if he does manage to get that, that will help him out a little bit. But the comm of Madman returning down here. To the southeast, we have Tiffy's comm starting to push out, starting to get some damage down onto all of these Auroras that are coming out from Bad D, trying to save his red ally. His other Aeon ally, Demon Streamer. And it's looking a little bit dire for Team 2. Bad D is sitting on such low HP up here. He's under heavy threat of dying right now. He needs to start walking away. He needs to pay attention to this comm, because right now he's under threat of just being walked down by Madman. Oh my, Madman can get a kill right here if he just walks him down. Madman almost assuredly can get a kill if he just decides to walk down Bad D. Seems as though Shift G gonna be used to try and stop Madman from walking him down. Bad D needs to run and run fast, because now he is in a lot of danger. Down here to the southeast, T1 bombers being used to push back Tiffy. His T1 land force was kind of cleaned up. Is there any, how much reclaim was left over here is a good question. About 5,000 just right here to 1,300 in Auroras. That's going to be very helpful for the efforts of Team 2, who are pretty much really far behind right now. Half the mass economy of Team 1 down to 50 mass a second, as Tiffy is taking a lot of damage due to T1 bombers, but the T1 bombers are about to dissipate. There's not going to be enough here for a kill. Bad D still running away. He's running to the south. He's very close to that next rank of veterancy, just a few more tanks, but without being able to send all of his reinforcing units up here, he's just kind of alone on this flank and is going to need to be a bit careful. This heavy air investment coming out from Demon Streamer, it really needs to pay off, as they have air control pretty much completely, but are unable to really get any kind of advantage from that. I feel like on this map, land is a little bit more important for the first about 20 minutes, and then air becomes very, very significant. At least on the 2v2 version. On the 4v4 version, you definitely want to be seeing T3 air by like I don't know, 11, 12 minutes at the latest, usually on 4v4, because there's one player I think spawns back here who just gets to play air. Maybe even shorter than that. Maybe sub 10 minutes is what you should be looking for, but I'm not a good air player, so yeah, no. As Demon Streamer is going to come down with this gun speed and range comm, and he's going to be able to start dealing some damage over here. All of this reclaim now being scooped up, so as we have that massive lead for Team 1, they're not that far ahead in total mass generated. Only about 3,000 mass generation ahead. That's because 14,000 reclaim in the hands of Demon Streamer and 9.9 thousand for Bad D versus the overall 9.6 thousand that Team 1 has gotten in total. So overall, it's not looking great for Team 2, but they are recovering, and they're not in a horrible position just yet. Sensors now on the way for Bad D. I really like this upgrade. Really gives you that extra bit of intel around the comm, and right now you can see that's a huge range, and it is all Omni. It's very, very nice to have that. It means basically anything that comes near your comm is destroyed, and the smaller the map, the more powerful that upgrade gets. And on 10 kilometers, the second smallest type of map, I think it's very much so worth it. Over here to the southeast, we have Tiffy now starting to push forward with the comm. He does have a few units here. Seems as though there's maybe a bad rally point over here. Yeah, there's a bad rally point right here that's going to be leading to units kind of funneling in one by one towards Demon Streamer. And that's a lot of engineers out from Demon Streamer. That is over 60 engineers. This is why the man has so much reclaim right now. He's just trying to pick up all of the reclaim on the map right now as he pushes forward with the commander. There is a few T1 PD now being thrown up. Needs to be careful, needs to be aware of that. But for the moment, is just able to get some free damage down onto these tanks out from Tiffy. Does he have an E storage? He does indeed. So So he's able to overcharge, and I'm guessing he probably has the most power generation in the game right now at 1500. So he's really going to be producing a lot of power. He has about 500 excess that he's not using, so overcharge is going to be coming out pretty much on cooldown as a ton of T1 bombers come in, and Tiffy is lowered down to 1800 HP. Is this going to be the first ejection of the game, as Tiffy is in desperate need of some saving? He's in some danger. If these bombers get another pass, it would definitely spell his doom. Does seem as though a ton of interceptors now coming out from Madman. They've identified correctly that they were behind on air, and now they've put a ton of assistance, a bunch of T2 engineers helping build interceptors over there for him. T2 land now achieved by Demon Streamer, and he's going straight to T3. He's nearly there already, and he's up to a very strong economy of 71 mass a second with all that reclaim he managed to get. The air is going to protect Tiffy from certain demise, but it's going to be very unfortunate for Tiffy there on that flank, as he is now losing it. Here in the center, a large T1 land force out from Madman, who's playing an amazing game so far, is now starting to push back the units of Bad D, and these factories down here that Bad D has are now under threat. He's in a lot of danger of just being demolished here in the center, and if that happens, his base could be under threat by all these Lobos. Needs to try and recover the situation, as Demon Streamer is still trying to chase down Tiffy. I don't think he's going to be able to do it, especially with units coming out of the factory. He can always unit block, but can definitely get some damage done. Probably pick up a couple more ranks of veterancy, although needs to be careful. You don't have air advantage anymore, so got to be careful about all of these interceptors in this area. You can worry that, oh, what if they go T2 air really quick and come up with a snipe, but I'm sure that's not the first thing on his mind, as right now the first thing on his mind is kill Tiffy. Unfortunately for Tiffy, he's not going to continue to chase into a Cerberus line, as Madman continues to gain ground on Bad D and Demon Streamer. Demon Streamer now has some Harbingers coming out onto the field. Are they going to be enough? He needs to keep them away from that Commander. That Commander can overcharge and really ruin the day. Commander sitting on Nano Repair and Gun. The Harbinger is now coming out to the eastern side, maybe going to try and help save Demon Streamer's comm. He's not sending them to the middle here, and this kind of production area on this cliff now under threat. Massive waves of units now bearing down on it. It's looking like a survival game right now for Bad D's production line, and unfortunately, I think he's going to lose that mini game there, as overwhelming force proves to be a very, very useful tactic in most of these games. We have a couple of tactical missile batteries now built up over here for Bad D. Is he going to be able to get any meaningful launches off? He could possibly just kill off all of this base. There's no TMD in the area, and the engineers aren't building it right now. He needs to start launching. Maybe he's going to build up a few tactical missiles before he starts launching. Maybe he's going to go for a snipe of some form. But this is looking dangerous now with these tactical missile batteries. Bad D really about to make a play. I guess we could see a snipe. Is 3 tactical missiles enough to kill 1400 HP? I guess we can just check. 6,000 damage, it's more than enough, so he's gonna scout. Is the tactical missile snipe gonna work? I'm assuming that's what he's going for. All of them are loaded, so it's now or never. As in the main base over here, it's going down. We have the tactical missiles out, and it's going for the comm of Madman 1, who's been playing such an amazing game so far, but I think he's going to go down. He's not moving the comm. He hasn't seen the tactical missiles, and here they come in. Those serpentine paths they follow. He's starting to reclaim, but he's not moving. And oh no, it's a disaster! As Team 1 loses their star player right now. He's really been making the aggression happen and making it work for the team. And now Tiffy is left in a 1v2 at the 18-minute mark. And Bad D is responsible for a lot of pain out from Team 1 right now. And I think these tactical missiles, I would stop using them on this. I'd just start throwing them at the base. I'm assuming they have enough range to hit the base. Could get a ton of damage, and these tactical missile batteries are now just firing at random. Just going for any and every little thing they can find, and the more damage they can do before TMD is online, the harder it gets for Tiffy. He's sitting on an overwhelming economy, over double what the opposition has. He has the tools to win this game, but now he has to fight on all of these fronts, and he needs to start building TMD right now, otherwise he's going to lose a whole ton of economy. T3 land is finished up for Tiffy. He has that T3 UEF land online. These tactical missile launches are just getting more and more brutal by the second. More and more T2 mechs is going down. 1,500 mass killed, 2,000 mass killed, 2,300 mass killed. He is getting his value out of each and every missile launch right now, as there's just not enough TMD in the area. There's T2 engineers, but he needs to start building the TMD right now, as that's going to hit the factory. You're gonna need a lot more than that to kill off this factory. Maybe all 3 tactical missiles launching at the factory could kill it, but now that there's a buzzkill on the way, it may just not be enough. There's another missile in the air flying over here, but the buzzkill, I think, maybe finishes in time. Oh yes, it definitely does, which means that this tactical missile gonna be shot down, and the threat of losing that oh so important T3 land HQ is gone. He's also repairing it for good measure. As down here to the west, Bad D's comm is in a bit of a dangerous position. Needs to probably throw up some PD. He doesn't have any units over here to defend, but this push looking a bit scary now, as Tiffy has consolidated a lot of these UEF units over onto this western flank, and he has his own consolidation of units over here. We've had Harbingers for a little bit, we've had T3 land for a little bit out from Demon Streamer, but they haven't been able to get too much done, and now with some Cerberus on the front line, you don't generally want to push into these defensive positions with Harbingers. You want to wait until you have sniper bots and just kill these without taking any damage. Bad D under huge threat of death right now. Energy storage being spammed up to try and help him survive this, and he's in danger of just dying. He's using his comm to reclaim the tanks because it's faster than trying to deal with the damage with the gun. The more tanks he can manage to reclaim right here, the better. He has some T1 bombers in the area, but there's just more and more units pouring into this gap. There's a bunch of bombers now coming out from Demon Streamer. He's dropping into the red. He's in danger of death at the hand of a million cuts from these little striker tanks. He's down to 3,000 HP. If he can get a couple more kills using the gun, though, reclaim doesn't count towards your veterancy. If he can get a couple more kills, he'll rank up in veterancy. He just needs 1 or 2 more tank kills, and that'll be enough. And he'll get the rank of veterancy that he oh so desperately needs. Oh, is it gonna be enough? Is he gonna go down 1,300 HP and falling, 1,000 HP and falling? He gets the rank of veterancy, and he's gonna live. Although he loses his, oh no, he doesn't lose the attack missile battery. I thought he did. Not that it's particularly useful at this point. Can tactical missiles from here, can they hit? They can hit that one. Not gonna fire at it though, not at the moment. As we have a push now down here from Tiffy, it's T1 units versus a decent little ball of 6 Harbingers. This is gonna deal with it. We've literally seen Harbingers get 100 kills on this channel when fighting T1 units, and it's not that surprising to see it, to be honest. So needs to switch up, needs to get some higher level tech on the field, and he's currently got Tech 2 land now over here for the Cybern Force. He has the T3 land of those Titans now producing and pushing to the front lines for him from the UEF base. And just overall, Tiffy just trying to be everywhere and do everything. He's pushing on 3 fronts simultaneously. You have to answer the question though, would it have been just better if he threw all of those resources and all of those units into just one of these situations and built a wall? Like, you don't need to push here anymore with all these Cerberus. Build a wall, don't let the units get on top of your defenses, and start sending your units around, or just build more production over here. A large push now out from Tiffy. over here. The Aeon players, they managed to get that snipe kill, but they've been constantly on the back foot, constantly having to defend against overwhelming force out from Madman and Tiffy, who have just really played the early game quite well, despite Madman's misstep and not quite realizing the danger his comm was in. Proper scouting goes a long way, as Bad D using engineers to repair the comm. There's a decent force of Harbingers now building up here in the middle. We have sniper bots now on the way. We're getting to the point where you might be able to build up enough Harbingers just to push through these Cerberus lines, although I don't think you would want to. I think it's much easier to push the middle right now, despite there being Titans. You just have Harbingers, which are better, and you've been building them for a bit longer, so you have more. As a Restorer comes out onto the field for Demon Streamer. Few mechs is still not being rebuilt. Oh, I hate this. The reason this mech isn't rebuilt, I'm sure he has had something queued to do it, but it's lost the order. You have to give a move order in between the two factories to rebuild that mechs, and he's just too APM tax to have noticed that that has happened. It'll also just control K all of those T1 factories, since they are not useful. None of them are producing at the moment. T3 on the way for Bad D. These forces here in the middle for Tiffy starting to make their way towards the reclaiming engineers. The main force, the main land force in the map right now for Team 2 is this Harbinger sniper bot force, and they're really not contesting this middle area. I'm guessing that they believe that they can just hold it with air. But with a lot of flak in this force, it's going to get harder to just try and hold things with air. Even with Restorers, enough flak will kill them. You just need to be a bit patient if you're Tiffy right now. Titans now walking forward. Oblivion point defenses being thrown up. Needs to pull these forces back over to the west. He needs these forces to help defend against the Titans, because defending the main base is going to be a bit harder. I guess there is a lot of T1 PD, but Titans, I believe, outrange T1 PD. What's the range of a Titan? We're looking at 24 range versus a PD sitting at how much range? 26. So no, Titans don't outrange them, but they do kill them relatively quickly, even with walls. Also, I'm sure there's an artillery or two mixed in here. And this Titan force now just pushing in towards the main base of Bad... Bad D. For some reason, I thought he was Demon Streamer for a second. And Bad D currently working on an upgrade. What upgrade is that? That's Shield. No, it's not Shield. It's T3 still, is what he's working on. Shield, admittedly, was started by Demon Streamer, but he quit that. And these Titans are getting into the base. They're starting to deal a lot of damage. We need those Restorers to maybe get in here and deal some more damage to the reinforcing units, but Bad D gonna lose a ton of his base right now to this run by. Beautiful play out from Tiffy as he just walks through the front door. And I was gonna make another X gonna give it to you joke, but I think I've exhausted my use of those for this week. As the Titans walk in and just destroy this base. T2 Air HQ about to go down. Harbingers showing up on the horizon to be the saving force here. The cavalry is coming, but Bad D, the damage has been done to him, and it's gonna be painful as he is in a rough position now. Down to 36 mass a second. Tiffy all the way up to 200 already. Chrono Dampener now on the way. He's going to get that very quickly. Can he afford the power cost? I mean, he can't really afford the mass cost, although I don't know what he's spending mass on. Just stop building everything else. I guess this is using a lot of mass. It's using over 100 mass a second. He's going to get Chrono Dampener very quickly, and once he does, he can definitely clean up this force, but it's such a painful situation now for Bad D, and Demon Streamer just doesn't have the economy to go toe-to-toe with Tiffy, who's all the way up to 200 mass a second. We're starting to get in that range where you're just going to see a spider built in a few minutes. And it's going to roll over the base if Team 2 isn't careful. Team 2 just so far behind this game. They've been on the back foot the entire time. Mass sent to Bad D so he can finish up Chrono Dampener. And tactical missiles were sent out, it would seem, to try and shoot down. Oh no, he launched tactical missiles from here to shoot this those mass extractors up there on the cliff. And now with Chrono Dampener done, this comm is very, very scary. Maybe want to consider removing sensors and going for speed. Although, you don't even have range at this point. You're just a very beefy comm sitting at 22,000 HP. Can build stuff quite easily, as he's gonna have to make stalwart defense over here on this western side. This is starting to look very weak. The T1 bombers trying to clean up these Titans, but these Titans have 5 ranks of veterancy each, or at least one of them does, and the other 2 have 4. They're just in the back lines. 2,000 mass killed, 3,400 mass killed, 2,800 mass killed. These Titans have really paid for themselves, and they've left Bad D crippled. Only good news is he does in fact have a T3 comm with chrono and sensors, so he can still be very, very useful, especially if he's able to get up some kind of mass generation in the back. It doesn't have to be much, but just enough to start building like some T2 PD and start getting aggressive with that engineering suite. These 3 Titans still just wreaking havoc, as in the center we have a bit of a fight breaking out, but Mongoose and Hoplites don't fare well against sniper bots and harbingers. T3 air now finished up for Tiffy. We have T3 air. We've had T3 air. We've had restores for a bit now for Demon Streamer. Bad D and Demon Streamer trying to push out for the first time, it would seem. They've barely made it past the halfway point on the map. In fact, I don't think that Demon Streamer has actually passed the halfway point of the map until just now with a flak. He's really just been having a lot of troubles on the ground game, but right now he's looking relatively strong on the ground. Might be able to make something happen. Cloaking now on the way for Tiffy. He's just trying to keep the comm safe. That belief that as long as you stay alive, you can maintain what you have and build up better. I'm sure he understands that he's on a economic advantage right now. He's done the scouting. He's done the backline damage. He should know how far ahead he is. He just needs to stabilize and stop these little pushes from dealing too much damage and stop the air from being so much of a nuisance. As the comm of Bad D walking forward, gonna try and use it to stun up these units coming over here. A lot of flak trying to be used to protect this. The Air Force is coming in, gonna be targeting down some of this economy. A lot going down onto these shields. If you can maybe kill off the T3 power, it would be worth it, but this is just looking a little bit like a mass dump, to be honest. With the ASF in the area, they're gonna clean this all up. The restorers are shut down, and it is just still anyone's game. Tiffy still looking like the stronger party involved, but Reclaim really coming in clutch for Team 2. 59,000 for Demon Streamer, 21,000 for Bad D. Is still really huge. The rest of Bad D's base has been cleaned up by these Titans, which are now all at 5 ranks of veterancy. The Hero Squad. Just chilling. Over here to the north, Bad D trying to fight an army by himself, but his comm is only so strong. He could maybe walk forward and start reclaiming some of these tanks. He's trying to use overcharge. He's trying to dodge the damage whenever the Mongoose fire. Such a beautiful sight to see this Aeon comm doing the Lord's work, but he may be in danger. With all of these units showing up, he may just be in danger of being dead very, very soon. Every rank of veterancy he gets, it does help him out quite a bit. Sitting at 1700 HP despite all of this fighting. And the Titans decide better of it, not going to try and kill Bad D as of the moment, just going to be sending everything to the middle as this large push now out from Demon Streamer is just being shoved down Main Street. And he's not around here to play, he's here to take names and kick ass. He's going to be dealing a lot of damage here. He's managing to kill off some of these periphery mass extractors. He's getting up onto this cliff. If he could maybe just win this and get set up right here, it could be a very nasty position. Those range bots having so much range to just wail down damage and pain upon the UEF base. But first things first, he has to win the fight. And I don't know if he can with this overwhelming number of Titans. He only has a few Harbingers. He needs the sniper bots to stay underneath shield coverage or stay out of the fight as much as he physically can. Now there's a bunch of flares showing up to support the comm. I guess anything to stop damage. A broadsword showed up to try and shoot at Bad D, but he just built a SAM, because that's what you do. 21 mass a second, and he's balling on it right now. These 3 Titans over here still alive. Restorers trying to kill them. This Titan has so much HP, it's going to regenerate before the Restorers kill it. The shield will be back online before the Restorers kill it. You have to be kidding me. That is ridiculous. And more mass economy going to be going down for Team 2. More structures going to die to these 3 Titans that have so much between them. 1 goes down, the 3 Musketeers are now only but 2. And it's going to be a sad story, but it's going to be a story as old as time. The ancient heroes of the UEF going much the way of their ACU did many minutes ago. And they're going to die at the hands of Zeus, as Titans often do. Over here in the center, sniper bots getting off some volleys. How are these sniper bots doing for veterancy? 2 ranks of veterancy. 2 ranks of veterancy. 1 rank of veterancy. 1 rank of veterancy. Another rank of veterancy. These sniper bots doing very nice work for Demon Streamer. Still feels like he just has less, and that is just kind of true. He's not building many T2 units other than Asylums and the occasional Evensong, but it's looking like he's just trying to rely heavily on it. Air power, so many T1 bombers. I'm sorry, I had like a hiccup there. Probably has been edited out, but if I sounded weird, that's why. As Bad D, he's just building defenses, man. He just doesn't care. He just could not care less. And he's gonna be dropping a whole bunch of flares over here with a T2 transport of some engineers. He's just going for it, man. He still has his tactical missile battery, by the way, which I think is hilarious. He has 6 missiles loaded up in each of them. 6,000 mass killed, 5 vet on one of them. He could very theoretically just start trying to kill off TMD and get more damage done that way. Although there's a lot of TMD. These flares going to be able to start killing off some of these T2 mexes, but I don't know if it'll be enough. As Bad D falls back a little bit, this broadsword going to be shot at by a SAM. Here in the center, large fight breaking out, and it looks like it's going horribly for Demon Streamer. The Titans are in range. The sniper bots are falling back, but I think the incline here, or no, there isn't an incline. Huh, I didn't know that. I thought this entire area was raised up. But you can see there's like kind of a depressed area down here. Looks very weird from the top-down view. And these Harbingers and Sprite Strikers trying to hold off the Titan onslaught, but is it enough? I don't think so. The Sprite Strikers not falling back is a critical mistake here. They could get killed off by something as pitiful as a mongoose. They are still going to be able to walk away, but that was a very close to disaster moment. These sniper bots are the main thing keeping this attack from getting any more purchase than it already has. We're 40 minutes in nearly. And it just seems like Team 2 are just unkillable. They're these little cockroaches that are just surviving everything that's thrown at them. This fat boy has been building for about half a century, I swear. It's just been building for so long. Do we have anything else on the field he's trying to build? No. It's just that and Titans. The Titans still being used heavily. Surprised we're not seeing a Percival switch. I mean, he's sitting on so much economy. I mean, even just getting that fat boy out and using the Titans to protect it seems like a perfectly fine way to get back into this game. Bad D just telling Demon Streamer, I'm guessing they're on VC, to just take his base. Just take it. He's just going to keep on trying to expand towards his opposition up here to the north and keep trying to be aggressive. He's cliff built an Oblivion and 2 T1 PD in order to kill this off. The aggression out from these two Aeon players is beautiful to see. Very interesting plays in particular coming out from Bad D, as he's just doing this I'm gonna use my comm as much as I can to get things done. At 5 ranks of veterancy and 25,000 HP, 60 health a second, it's not experimental levels, it's not Seraphim levels of ridiculous, but it is a very bulky comm for the Aeon. The only thing that could make him bulkier is going for one of those nifty little upgrades called Shield or Heavy Shield. But then again, he has Chrono, and how much damage mitigation does Chrono do when you're being attacked by a bunch of T3 units? The answer is surprisingly very much. A lot. Very much damage mitigated. Also makes your units a bit more effective, as the Sprite Striker here on the front going to go down. That's a lot of Vipers. Needs to deal with this before it starts dealing some damage, because he just doesn't have the capability to really defend. I mean, mobile missile launchers, mass for mass, will beat TMD, I believe. TMD is not meant to stop massive waves of tactical missile launches. A bunch of missiles just fired out over here, going for a T2 factory. Could possibly get another one if he just keeps launching. The buzzkill's just notoriously bad. Not quite able to stop these missiles from flying in when they're flying in groups of 3. And that's going to be some production going down for Tiffy. And Tiffy, he's still managed to keep this overwhelming mass lead. He's nearly 100, he's over 100, he's nearly 100,000 mass generation ahead total this game, but just not able to make something happen with it. He's just having so much struggles with finding the footing to just take down his opposition. It feels like he may have an army big enough to, but every time he commits, it doesn't seem to go as well as he would maybe like. Or maybe he's just playing a bit cautiously. This fat boy finally about to finish. He's committing to a fight right before the fat boy finishes, which is interesting. I'm wondering why he doesn't just wait. He's going to lose some of these forward Titans for sure to the sniper bots. The next volley is going to be killing off a Titan or two. More volleys coming in, and the Titans are going to be forced back. He's just maybe trying to stop the reclaim from happening. But once the fat boy comes online, that's very easy. Bad D in a transport. He's abandoning this northern side. He's not abandoning it. He's just abandoning it, if I could speak English properly. And he's coming down to the south. Is he just going to try and rebuild? No, he's coming all the way over here. All right, Bad D. He's just like, you know what? I'm not getting much done over here anymore. I killed off those mass extractors. I'm trying to be annoying. I'm going to come down and help you on your flank, as I just pulled the cord out of my headset so I can't hear anything all of a sudden. That's always disconcerting. And he's going to drop the comm here. He's going to start building TMD of all things. Oh wait, no, this TMD is being built by a T3 engineer. I guess this is to deal with the Vipers. He's building more TMD himself, actually, which is interesting. Not going to be... He's going for some anti-air as well. Just going to try and help defend this area. His 76 mass a second. He's really managed to turn around his economic prospects. And they're starting to catch up. Tiffy is not continuing to eco. I think he has mostly T3 mexes. Not all, of course, but... I mean, how many T3 mexes is the man sitting on? He's sitting on 6. And he's still very far ahead, but may want to consider getting a little bit more heavily into the eco. He's been very much so more passive than I would have expected this game, just from the way things have played out. And now he's going for a push. The Fat Boy is pushing out to the west. It seems as though he's just going to try and push this with just his Titans against the Harbingers and the Sniper bots. I'm assuming more are always being built. This is all just one factory building all of this, by the way. Because Demon Streamer really doesn't believe in ground forces. He has one factory building all of this, and it's not even assisted. What a mad lad. He has, now there's tactical missile launches coming out. Are those trying to shoot the Fat Boy? The Fat Boy's shield is down. For some reason or another. It looks like it's going for, this T3 support factory. Is it going to hit the cliff? No, it's not. They swerved perfectly not to hit the cliff. And that's more production going down for Tiffy. He's just kind of falling apart at the seams right now, and it's starting to look like Team 2, they're down on mass and everything. They don't have the overwhelming army to be able to fight, but they're slowly whittling him down, slowly taking down his economic advantage. Demon Streamer is back here getting so much economy built up. He's now starting to build lines of T1 air, presumably for T1 bombers. He's been really focused on the air this game. And Team 2 looking, I wouldn't say strong, but they definitely are hard to kill. And it seems as though Tiffy is having some struggles with them right now. As a fight now brewing over here on the western side. All of these units going to try and pour through this defensive area that Bad D built up so long ago. Bad D has kind of just moved all of his economy up here. 3 T3 mexes, or 2 and a third one about to finish. And his comm kind of on the front line, but everything's turning around. Bad D may want to be careful. If he can get his comm in on this fight and really just use Chrono to shut down a lot of these Titans, even if he just shuts them down for 3 or 4 cycles, it'll be enough. The ping onto the comm, assumedly that's coming out from Madman, as he's still in the game, I assume, trying to give his ally some scouting help. And by that I mean just using his eyes to see what's going on. Surprised we don't see like a nuke or something out from any of these players. Or maybe we do and I'm just blind. The commander of Tiffy still has Cloak, still just chilling. Was wondering if maybe he'd go for the Cloak laser combination, so that way if somebody does try and get into your base, you can kind of just ward it off. It's a really great base defense, but it's very expensive, admittedly. Also, you could use it as an aggressive option. It's a kind of one and done use, though. You use it once, get an objective done, and then you have to get your comm out of the area. Otherwise, you're just going to die. Unless you have the units to protect it. The sniper bot's trying to be used here to protect this, but it's starting to feel like a losing battle unless this Fat Boy just makes a critical mistake and walks into the sniper bots. I think the army here for Demon Streamer is soon to be meeting its demise. This Fat Boy getting a ton of value on this T3 army. Air fight ensuing, but no, it's not an air fight. It's just a bunch of T1 bombers coming out. We're trying to get some damage down onto the Fat Boy. And these units out from Tiffy now starting to push forward. It looks like maybe he has a push that will work. The lack of land from Team 2 is still just quite brutal. It feels like they just don't have the units to fight. They've been trying to get up on economy, and they are up on economy now. They're leading economically by now a significant margin for the first time in a very long time. But they don't have the units to protect it. They're starting to be whittled down by Tiffy, and I was speaking about how maybe they had the upper hand for the first time in a while, but now starting to look like maybe they don't. Maybe they're falling behind, as they need the units to defend this. Bad D gonna try and walk up with Chrono. This is a bit ambitious. Maybe a really good overcharge, but that's gonna be a possible just straight up death for him. He's trying to use the comm to get something done, but I think Bad D is maybe just gonna go down here. He's just trying to fight off all of these Titans. Oh my lord, that's a lot of damage, and I think he's gonna go down any second now. Every time those Titans get to fire. Oh my lord, all those Titans just going down to one overcharge though. Maybe he can make it happen. He's microing his heart out, but he goes down in the end. He takes out a lot of Titans with him, and he's gonna hand over a decent economy to his ally. Is Demon Streamer able to make something happen with it? He's gonna have the economic lead. He's gonna be in a very good position. But will it be enough? He's managed to wrap around the backhand side. He killed off the Fat Boy with that force, but now he's being pincered on both sides by Titans, although these Titans and these Mongeese have been severely diminished by the fact that, well, they were getting shot at by that insane comm out from Bad D. Rambo doesn't even begin to describe it. He's like John Wick, John Rambo, John McClane all combined into each other. He embodies Die Hard for sure. As here we have an air fight going very poorly for Tiffy. And if this is cleaned up in time for Demon Streamer, he can just come in and kill off the broadswords that are stopping his attack. Although I think the damage is done, and I think the broadswords aren't going to achieve much. These T3 mechs is going to be going down to some demolishers. And Bad D dying, sacrificing so that way his team could maybe win. He's worked so hard. He got the snipe earlier. He's played a stellar game, but it's now all over for him, and it's on Demon Streamer's shoulder to get something out of that. He's still matching the economy, but he just lost to T3 mechs, and that's gonna hurt. He's losing this economy up here on the hill. He's gonna be able to clean up the demolishers that are starting to deal with this. Maybe use these engineers to rebuild this area. Unfortunate. Now he's yet again behind economically, although maybe he has the advantage with Reclaim right now. He has a ton of engineers. He's had a ton of engineers the entire game, in fact. Even right now, sitting on a cool 140 almost. As he's upgrading mass extractors rapidly. I think it might be time to invest in some defense over here on the western side. And Tiffy, it's definitely time to continue to build experimentals. That Fat Boy bought you so much. That Fat Boy is basically the reason why you killed Bad D. Bad D felt he needed to do something. You're winning on land, and you're still winning on land. You just need to either get a handle on air so you can use that land, or set yourself up an experimental push. You have Cybran. You have the capability to go for that overwhelming Monkey Lord Megalith spam that can be built up very quickly at this point with your economy, especially Monkey Lords. T3 scouts out onto the field. Players are sizing each other up. T2 now on the way for Demon Streamer. A bunch of artillery has been built over here in the middle, and is still building. The heavy investment. A lot of forces over here to the west. Titans now trying to push on towards Harbingers. Harbingers in these fights gonna do okay, but it's gonna be difficult. The broadswords coming in, really causing trouble. How many T1 bombers is he sitting on, just waiting for the defense? Really needs an Omni, or he has one, but he's power stalling, which is unfortunate for him. But I didn't even look at the number. 168 T1 bombers. Well, if there's a time to use them, I guess it's now. You might want to just focus on the AA or something. But it's starting to look like he's going to be pushed on multiple fronts. Luckily, there's nothing here that can shoot up enough other than the broadswords to kill off these T3 mexes, which are really helping out Demon Streamer. He's just ecoing behind all of this. He's this area down here under assault. I don't even think Demon Streamer actually held that. I just think he came in and killed it just now. Does he have anything going on? And for the matter, does Tiffy? Tiffy is about to finish a second Fat Boy. Still has a mech here that wasn't built. I guess he's... Oh, he reclaimed it to rebuild it as T3 maybe. The AA here. Is the broadsword got enough DPS to kill off the mechs in time? Does it? No, it doesn't. That mech's gonna survive. Still has a T1 engineer up here. Can repair it or set up a factory. Wouldn't be a bad idea to have a factory up there. As a bunch of Titans now pouring into the middle here, and the land force for Demon Streamer is just still very light. He doesn't have the land to fight off pretty much half of what's coming at him. He has a ton of T1 bombers. He has some restorers that he's using to stop this, but he's losing mass extractors. Yet again, just to a bunch of land forces coming forward and punching him in the face. Tiffy is over here. He's just a boxer. He's standing and banging, just throwing punches left and right and left and right. And there's a jab and there's an uppercut. And Demon Streamer, he's I don't know. I don't know what mixed martial arts I could come up with that would be like, I'm gonna let you hit me a bunch and try to maneuver around you with really fast moves, but I'm not ever gonna punch you or strike you. I'm just gonna give you hugs or something. The air power, though, for Demon Streamer, quite formidable. He has the air advantage. Maybe a snipe is on the cards, although will be incredibly difficult, especially with the low amount of scouting going on over here. Yeah, he doesn't see, I guess he sees everything, but it just feels like there's not a ton of scouting going on. Maybe he is scouting and I'm just dumb. And this is a bunch of engineers being dropped just to reclaim this. Demon Streamer, 129,000 reclaim. The man knows what he likes, and it's called reclaim. In fact, he's starting to slowly catch up to Tiffy's overall mass total generation, and most of that's due to reclaim. My lord. Another push coming out here on the western side from Tiffy. He's gonna start using Titans to kill off all these engineers. Unfortunately for that Titan, it's going to take him a while, even with his good DPS and ability to kill T1 land and engineers very effectively. That's a lot of engineers to chew through. Although I guess not unfortunately, but fortunately for him, as he's going to get a lot of engineers killed. Going to get a lot of mass value on that veterancy chart. He's already up to 1 veterancy, although his life is going to be cut very short by 2 restorers. They're going to restore him into something that can be reclaimed. The R's go together. As in the middle, another Fat Boy and yet another huge force, primarily consisting of Titans. 36 Titans, a Fat Boy, and 4 Percivals. There's actually Percivals, which is surprising to me. You just now start building those? I just haven't seen very many on the field. It's curious to me. As there's just not a lot on the ground right now to defend against this for Demon Streamer. There's tons of Air Force, but that's a lot of AA. And we're going to speed this up a little bit, as these players have been relatively passive. I say that Tiffy's been doing these punches. He's been getting in and getting these raids off, but neither of them committing fully on to just, I'm going to go take your main base now. Demon Streamer because he can't, and Tiffy because he's scared. Fear is a powerful demotivator, apparently. As that is going to be a lot of... There's even a strap bomb coming in, but that's a lot of T1 bombers trying to drop their payload on that Fat Boy. Is the Fat Boy going to survive? It's going to go down very low on HP. It dies to the T1 bombers, and maybe that's why Tiffy is unwilling to push forward, but that seemed to go very well for him. Or no, I guess it didn't, because there wasn't an air fight. For some reason I thought there was an air fight and he lost it. No, that was just AA shooting unprotected T1 bombers that still managed to kill a Fat Boy. And that is quite brutal. Demon Streamer, does he have anything? He has a strategic missile launcher on the way now. And maybe even get a few more strap bombers. He can stop any attempt at a TMD. There's a nuke queued up now for Tiffy. I don't see an anti-nuke. 58 minutes in, I don't think he has an anti-nuke. Let's just check. Oh god, what does it look like? But it's gonna be a nuke eliminator. Almost everything he has is UEF. He doesn't have one. Unless I'm blind, he just doesn't have one. Yeah, no. There is no nuke eliminator on the field for Tiffy. And Demon Streamer about to expose that real hard as his nuke launcher is done in about 5 seconds. Here in the middle, there's still a push. He's built all of these land factories over here in the west. He's just starting to build fervors. He's just saying, all right, I see you. I'll just build a bunch of fervors. That way you have to micro stuff or it gets shot at and take a bunch of damage. If anything ever sits still, these fervors are just going to walk up and have a field day. As these Titans are soon going to find out. One Titan about to go down. More going to follow. Yep, 2. Going to start dropping like flies if they are not moved. Oh, and some of them are about to move into the fire. Oh, God, the fervor has such little AoE on its attack. It's so horrid. A Monkey Lord has been finished over here on the eastern side for Tiffy. Could try and come around in a flanking play with its stealth. Not really a lot of point defense to stop it either. And the Titans now pushing forward into this area for the 100th time. And this time it may be even more damaging though, as if they get in and start killing off all these T3 mexes, it'll be huge. A wave of T1 bombers and restorers coming out, the standard response that we've seen from Demon Streamer for such a long time now. And yet again, we're going to speed it up. We're going to go to just +2 for now. Strap bombers out on the field being used to clean up these units as well. Monkey Lord not moving. There's a lot to manage, I get it. Another Fat Boy on the way. Nuke launcher. Nearly halfway done building and there's still no anti-nuke. Has it been spotted? Do they know about it? They do not. Oh, that's gonna be brutal. He's built another experimental Fat Boy and Monkey Lord on the field now. He's trying to catch up in air as well. I think I see multiple T3 air factories. Hell, he has HQs for both factions in air. He's just not managing to make anything happen with it. Cougars being used, but they're shooting T1 bombers instead of strap bombers, and that's unfortunate. Some of the strap bombers being shot down. How far is this nuke along? It's 70%. Azar started and abandoned for some reason or another. The Fat Boy in the middle pushing. The Monkey Lord over here on this eastern side is a bit of a problem, and it seems as though this is where Demon Streamer has wanted to push all game. But every time he sends units over here, Tiffy responds by sending all of his units to the middle. And that is a ping on the nuke. They just spotted it. Yep. Does he start building an anti-nuke? No, it doesn't seem like he's gonna bother with that madness. And let's see, this nuke is damn near ready to launch. Would be surprised if it doesn't already have orders. So we're gonna watch it in real time. We'll speed it up a little bit. Come on. Come on. Yes! Strategic launch detected.
Strategic launch detected.
And there we go. This devastating little missile is going to make a journey across the map, and it's going to show the world exactly why you don't fuck with the Aeon. As nuclear hellfire is almost assuredly rained down upon the UEF base run by a Cybran, the heretics burn. And all is right in the world once again as Demon Streamer, with a blindingly effective play right there, it's going to be very, very difficult now for Tiffy to recover. He needs to build anti-nuke over here too. You can just start chain nuking with the Apocalypse. It's going to build very quickly, as long as he has mass, and right now he's sitting on 300 mass a second. He's spinning most of it, but he's not in a horrible stall, so it'll build relatively quickly. As he could work on an experimental of some kind. He's starting to work on a Tsar, although that seems maybe a bit ill-guided with how much focus you've put on air this game. Your opposition has more than enough ASF to one-pass a Tsar, and even if they didn't, I'm just saying, 17 Cougars do a lot of damage. Over here to the east, the Monkey Lord's been spotted, and it's just been killed. T1 bombers can kill anything if you have enough of them. Demon Streamer playing a blinder of a game. So is Bad D. Both players on Team 2 really know how to play from behind, but they're still behind. It's ridiculous how long they've been economically behind. It's over 150,000 mass, or just at 150,000 mass. 150,000 mass advantage to Team 1, and that is ridiculous. That's multiple experimentals. And you know what? That makes sense, because there's been multiple experimentals from Team 1. There's not been a single one for Team 2 yet. And Tiffy is starting to push on multiple fronts. He has this push down here in the southeast. It's going to run into an ungodly amount of miasmas, and miasmas are really, really good. They leave this AoE, or they have very good AoE damage. I don't think they leave an AoE damage on the ground though. And also, I'm sure that some point defense are going to be spanned up, but over here to the west, this is really dangerous. There's not an insignificant amount of economy built up in this southwest corner, and it's now under the biggest threat we've seen all game. Experimentals, hundreds of units now pouring down here. And am I a liar? Let's see. 100 units pouring down there. It's more than 100, less than 200, okay? And these Titans are going to start coming in. The unfortunate part, though, is the Titans are so much faster that this first wave of bombers can really just focus on those Titans, because they're going to be ahead of the Cougars and the flak, if there even is flak at this point. Although the bombers are not really doing very well for themselves. They're just flying over AA and not dropping payloads. Did he build an anti-nuke? No, he just didn't. He just doesn't care, I guess. Quite interesting. If that nuke loads again, it can fire again. I think, though, Demon Streamer is spending all of his economy on trying to defend right now. And this is brutal. It looks so good for just that second. But I don't know if he's going to be able to stop all these Titans. Maybe we'll be able to stop them in the main base, but he's going to lose a lot for this. If enough units siphon off over here to the west and kill off all these mass extractors, it'll be huge. If the Tsar somehow finishes, that would also be huge. He's now building more miasma, but I think it's time for Oblivions, not miasma. Hell, eruptors, he says, and can't argue with that logic either. And I have to remember there's a fat boy bearing down in this position after all of this. And these Titans are in the base. And they are putting in work now for Tiffy. Needs to make sure he gets some critical damage done though. If he just comes in and maybe does some damage to factories, kills off some of these T1 factories, that won't be good. Needs to kill off some of this power generation and maybe the nuke launcher if he's lucky enough. Seems as though he might be even targeting the nuke launcher right now. As this siege of epic proportions just continues to happen. The nuke launcher no longer shielded, under heavy threat. Percival's coming in. If they can kill that power generator, the nuke launcher goes down, I believe. And it's just looking brutal right now. The power generator down to very low HP. It goes down, and so does the nuke launcher. And oh my god, Demon Streamer almost going down in the process too. He was standing too close to those two volatile buildings. And there's a fat boy in the background bearing down on this position. Demon Streamer might be able to live, but at what cost? He's lost his nuke. He's lost so much of his base. And he's now down to less than half the economy of his opposition. He was keeping it closer for a long time there. But this might be the nail in the coffin. I don't think the attack fully kills off Demon Streamer. But recovering from this is a Herculean task, to say the least. The fat boy continues to push forward. In the middle, we have some T3 units trying to push out for Demon Streamer, but it's really just not going to be difficult for Tiffy to defend against that. And an hour and 10 minutes into this game, both sides fighting valiantly to try and win. Tiffy doing a lot of work for his team. Gotta remember, 18 minutes in, his teammate died and he was 1v2 for nearly 30 minutes, it felt like. Admittedly, the 1v2 was mostly a 1v1 with an extra comm being very annoying. But he's whittled down Demon Streamer. Just slowly taking these attritional fights. He hasn't been efficient with his mass, but he has been throwing it consistently into Demon Streamer and his base. And with so much economy down, I can't imagine Demon Streamer is going to be able to make a large attack anytime soon. He's going to have to spend so long recovering that Tiffy should just have this in the bag. Gonna speed it up to +3 again. We have attacks coming out over here on the eastern side. A bunch of loyalists. He's finally gotten T3 Sovereign Land. Occasional trebuchet and anti-air, of course. Shield done for Demon Streamer now. The Tsar is about to finish, but that's a lot of ASF, and there's still a lot of AA. I think Demon Streamer also has a lot of ASF, and I, for some reason, slowed the game down a fuck ton. 154. Never mind. Demon Streamer should be able to protect that. I was just wrong, unless I read this wrong. Yeah, Demon Streamer still has so much air that the Tsar is still a chance to win the game. I mean, it's still difficult. No matter what way you cut it, this is gonna be difficult for Demon Streamer with such the lack of economy that he has. These waves of scouts trying to figure something out. What are they trying to look for? I'm completely unsure of what he's looking for. Does he have an experimental or something on the way? The fat boy over here got killed off. The Tsar is online. The Tsar can definitely be protected with proper micro, but this is a ton of AA. He has so many Cougars on the field. You can just see the shield on the Tsar going down, each Cougar getting its wave off. The wave of ASF coming in combination with the Cougars might be enough. The Tsar gonna live for now. But it feels like the best strategy right now is to build a second Tsar. Was that Control K or did he just die to the Cougars? It was on like 16,000 HP. If that was Cougars, that was ridiculous. If it was a Control K, I don't understand it. Strap bombers on the field. That cloaking upgrade has got to have been paying dividends. There has been so many moments where I think there's probably been enough air on the map to just snipe Tiffy. Even through the SAMs, even through everything. He's probably had 300 T1 bombers on the field at certain points. That in combination with the occasional strap bomber. That cloaking upgrade is paramount right now for Tiffy. And in the base, this push still going very well. The air advantage out for Demon Streamer is huge. Maybe he can just start killing off all of this northeastern economy. He's going for a snipe onto what looks like an SCU. Oh, if he's going for that SCU thinking it's an ACU. That's brutal. And you just lost a ton of ASF for that due to the overwhelming number of SAMs on the map. 29. Not really overwhelming, but a lot of SAMs, to be honest. Just constant units everywhere. There's just constantly a push happening, but it's an ebb and flow, and it seems like both sides are a bit stagnant. Nobody's getting much of anything. This Pigeon has been sitting here building for like 30 years. Just never gonna be finished. We have a anti-nuke built now. Demon Streamer just building so many defenses. He's also ecoing a bit behind this. He's trying to rebuild his economy back up to match Tiffy. But don't know if he'll be able to, especially with RAS SUs now coming onto the field. Tiffy's economy is about to explode if he gets a lot of assistance on that. Although he's going to build his own RAS facility. But yet again, on this western side, Titans are just going to come in and completely destroy a large swath of economy, it feels. I mean, a bunch of T1 bombers are going to come in, but the problem with this is the T1 bombers need time. And time feels like something they desperately do not have. A GC now on the way for Demon Streamer. And the Titans coming into the back line. They're getting so much value right now. As they get in, a T3 mech's about to go down for Demon Streamer. And Tiffy is just starting to roll over the map. He has a wave of blue units just constantly pouring out. So many factories producing T3 units right now. Currently sitting on 6, 7, 1. I'm sure the HQ is producing, so 14 T3 factories, and they're all producing pretty much permanently. It is a lot of units to deal with, and a lot of them have assistance even on top of that, so they're even faster. Monkey Lord on the way to the southeast of the main base of Tiffy. And it's starting to feel over, but this game keeps on surprising me. I'm gonna speed it up. Mainly because my room is about 100 degrees now, because I don't do casts this long normally, and I can't have the AC or fan on. And because it feels like Tiffy has finally found the winning combination to beat Demon Streamer. He's killing off more economy every second. Demon Streamer's down below 200 mass a second yet again, while Tiffy is at over 600. And that cloaking upgrade means he's just so much harder to snipe. GC now out in the field for Demon Streamer. It's gonna be fighting the Monkey Lord. We can get a beautiful shot of this. Monkey Lord goes down. Titans pushing in. And it's feeling pretty desperate over here. These Titans are idle, but the second they start moving, they're going to be able to push in. There's a ton of Oblivion point defenses built up, and a lot of them have veterancy and such, but hot damn, is it going to be difficult. If Demon Streamer wins this, I will be dumbfounded. Patron anti-nuke up. He's building another Apocalypse. Although the anti-nuke for Tiffy is done as well. He built an anti-nuke down here too? No, he didn't. He's just mass-producing Monkey Lords in this GC. It's gonna get a lot of kills. It's already up to 2 ranks of veterancy. It's trying to hold out. But it's just not quite able to fight off firepower of this magnitude. It's just standing there, staring intently at these Titans one at a time. But in the end, he's gonna go down. It's taken way longer than I thought it would. I mean, he's still sitting at 20,000 HP. He's still killing off Titans. And GC has really paid for itself. 51,000 mass killed. But another Monkey Lord showing up spells his demise. Is there another GC on the way, or are we just trying to use artillery and T2PD to solve our problems? As we can speed this up. GC goes down. Gets surprising amount of damage on the Monkey Lord. Despite being so low on HP. The T1 bomber is going to come out, but air is now looking even dicey for Demon Streamer. He was looking like he was so far ahead. Okay, never mind. He's still ridiculously ahead on air, but anti-air has proven good enough now for Tiffy as he pushes in towards the base. I'm just constantly looking to see if there's anything spicy going on. There's a game ender, I want to see it. The defense out from Demon Streamer has been stalwart, to say the least. He's a bastion of the Aeon, but unfortunately you can't win them all. Kills a Monkey Lord with Oblivions. And it's just an insurmountable lead. When you have 7 times the economy, okay, it's closer to 4 or 5 times, but 5 times the economy as your opposition, it's very easy. Nuke on the way for Tiffy. And we're just going to speed this up as much as it will let us for the moment. I don't want to waste your time, and this is just going to be a slow turtle fest. The patron is still alive, so that nuke isn't going to be particularly useful. Okay, you know what? This is too fast. We can go to ×3. Look at that beautiful Aeon base, though. Alright. I'll stop using cinematic cam for a little while. The forces of Tiffy were finally beaten back, and Demon Streamer is being allowed to expand to this southwestern corner for the 100th time in a row. It's just feeling like Tiffy has this in the bag, but I'm so unable to just say he has it. Like, he's just it's such a slow and painful game from the viewpoint of Demon Streamer and Bad D. They've just been beat down at every corner, but they haven't been critically damaged to the point of control K-ing or leaving. I'm guessing Demon Streamer still feels like he has a chance because he's still microing things and trying. Tiffy has just not managed to inflict the damage he needs to. He has had the tools. I'm still curious about still going with the Mass Titan and Mass Loyalist. 40 Titans, thousands of Titans have probably been used this game. That's not what I wanted. I want the Loyalist count. Where are your Loyalists? Do you not have any? God, somebody is pinging like a madman over there. Megaliths now starting to be produced in mass. We have a Monkey Lord over here. We have a Megalith. We have a Disruptor being built on the front lines because that's how you show you're balling. I wonder if that was meant to be a, Wait, that Disruptor is useless, isn't it? Isn't it? That Disruptor can't hit the most important part of the base. Yeah, that Disruptor is useless. That has to be a misclick. Oh, it's getting pinged, but he hasn't seemed to notice it. Oh, or some are reclaiming, some were building for a second there. And the Megalith and Spiders are starting to push forward with all of the Titans and all of the Loyalists. And this might be the push to end the game. With the nuke launcher, you could just focus on killing off the patron and then nuke him. That's all you have to do. You just have to get right here, and that's infinitely easier than trying to get to the comm. I felt like there was a second GC being built, and it just, yeah, no, it was never completed. Alright. As we prepare for the final assault, Megalith about to round the corner. The base defense is intense. A Megalith now making its way into the firing range of the base. Remember, you want to keep your eyes right here. This patron is critically important. This army may not be able to just fully dead-on kill off the entire base. Maybe it can, but if it kills the patron, it means the nuke launcher is now an option to just win the game. The air grid is probably going to go down to the Megalith, and that's going to also spell disaster. And we're going to speed it up. The patron now under fire by the Megalith after getting pinged, and the patron is officially dead. Another experimental's been built. Demon Streamer has tried his damnedest to win this game. Come on, get out of this camera. But it doesn't seem like he's gonna be able to. As the units start to converge, there's another Megalith on the field. Even if this one dies, it won't matter. The nuke launcher now heavily assisted by hives. Does Tiffy, is he in a stall of any kind? Oh, he's in a mass stall. Ah. Demon Streamer sitting on wait. Did I read that correct? 500,000 reclaim! He's reclaimed a Paragon, damn it! And the nuke is done. The nuke is almost assuredly going to launch and end the game. There's no way that he has another anti-built. So we're just waiting until Tiffy realizes that the nuke is finished and that he can end the game with it. There we go. Here comes that Cybran launch. Oh, I didn't track it apparently. I hit the wrong button. And here comes the nuke. Thank you all for watching. You have been beautiful. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you to the patrons and everybody who supports the channel. Like if you liked it, subscribe. It really helps the channel. And the more subscribers we get, the more we'll get in the future, the more YouTube pushes everything, the more views. It's going to make FAF bigger and better place. Join my Discord if you're looking for a community of FAF players. You all are beautiful. This is Willow, signing off.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love